Hey everyone, welcome back to another Mattel Jurassic World review. Today we're taking a look at another Camp Cretaceous product. It's the new Camp Adventure set. This box set contains 4 figures, 2 of which are repaints of older figures. You got the Stegosaurus and Baryonyx. Then you get a new little tiny baby Bumpy the Ankylosaurus figure, which is really cool. I like how that one is much smaller than the Attack Pack one, so this figure is going to scale really well with the rest of the line. And we also get our first human Camp Cretaceous figure, Darius. I found this box set at Target. It retails for $39.99 and it has a pretty decent value. If you bought these figures separately, it would cost a little bit more than $40. The Stegosaurus retails for $20, Baryonyx for $15, and a human figure with an accessory retails for about $8. So $40 is a pretty decent price for these 4 figures that you're getting. As of right now in the US, this set is only being found at Target. There's been no official word if this is a Target exclusive, but as of right now, it's looking that way. And if you want to track down the set for yourself, I'm going to leave the DCPI number down in the comments, along with a link to Pop Finders. Punch in the DCPI code, your zip code, and it'll show you if any of the Targets in your area has this set in stock. And right now, it looks like Targets are getting 8 of these in on their first shipment, so this set should be relatively easy to track down once they stock them on shelves. So good luck and happy hunting. So let's just go over the packaging really quick before we crack these figures open. It comes in the new Camp Cretaceous style packaging with the same logo and artwork that we've seen on the last few figures. You got the Camp Cretaceous logo up here in the corner. The side of this box is a little bit beat up. I really don't care because obviously I'm going to open these figures up for a review. You get a picture of the Stegosaurus tail swipe in action in the bottom left hand corner right here. Camp Adventure set on the front of the box. And in the background right here, you got some nice artwork of the Camp Cretaceous that we've seen on like the Toro, the Carnotaurus, and Epic Roaring T-Rex set. I'm definitely going to be saving that insert for photography. It looks really, really nice. Can't wait to get that out. And in the bottom right-hand corner over here, I have a picture of Toro, the Carnotaurus, along with a couple of the other kids. And right there is Darius. I think that's the only human character that we know the name of right now. And up here, we have the Netflix logo. And turning the box around, you got a picture of more of the kids along with Bumpy the baby Ankylosaurus, and turning it all the way around. It's so hard to maneuver this big box. You got some nice full art pictures of the Stegosaurus, Darius and Bumpy, and the new Baryonyx. These 2 figures have the same exact action features you've seen on their older releases. So that's about it for the packaging. Let's crack the set open and take a closer look. So once you get these figures out of the packaging, there is just one figure that just needs some slight assembly. It is the Baryonyx. If you have any of the Baryonyx figure, you are very familiar with this. All you need to do is just slide the tail in, line it up, and push it in, and it'll click into place, and then it will not be removable once you do that. And this Baryonyx already doesn't want to stand up. All right, now that I got the Baryonyx standing, I just have John Hammond's cane underneath its foot just to kind of keep him propped up from falling over. So let's take a quick look at Darius. And like I said earlier, this is the first human Camp Cretaceous figure that we've got so far, and it's actually one of the first human figures, new human figures that we've gotten in a very, very long time. So this figure has standard articulation, just like every other figure in the line. Has rotation at the head. It can look down a little bit, look up a little bit. The head is on a ball joint. The arm can rotate 360 degrees. There's a hinge at the shoulder. You also have an elbow swivel and an elbow joint. No rotation at the wrist. You have some waist rotation. The legs can kick up that far, move back just a little bit. The back of the pants are catching the back legs right there. And then you have a bend at the knee, and the knee can also rotate, and there is no ankle articulation. As far as paint work on this figure, the paint job is pretty good. There's no sloppy paint on this figure. You got a nice black stripe running down the sleeve of his yellow hooded sweatshirt. He does have a dinosaur tooth necklace. You can obviously see, let me just get the light on his eye right here without the light crashing down on my camera. Let me focus in, and you can see the eyes are painted really well. Now this figure is in that cartoon animation style that Camp Cretaceous is going to be in, so these figures are not going to blend well with the rest of the Mattel human figures, which is kind of unfortunate. It would have been nice if these were more, less cartoony looking characters so they can be mixed in with the rest of the Jurassic World line, but it is what it is. It's a cartoon show, so this is the style they decided to go with. The pants are done in a nice denim color. The the sneakers are painted really well, black with white laces and a white sole. Now this figure is kind of a pain in the butt to stand. You can see right here, the feet are not flush with the ground. I guess there was some warping issue from being put in the package, and so he is kind of a pain to stand, but of course I get him on the first try, and here he is with one of the other human figures from the Jurassic World line. Here he is with John Hammond. You can see John is just a little bit taller. Let me just move Bumpy off to the side, and here it is with the only other child character we have in the Jurassic World line, Maisie. And next up we have Bumpy the Baby Ankylosaurus, and this is a neat little figure. There's an attack pack version of this figure, which I've not got my hands on yet, but I always felt the attack pack was way too big for a baby Ankylosaurus. I was very happy that Mattel decided to include this much more in scale baby Ankylosaurus. I'm assuming it's in scale. I'm assuming this would be a tiny little baby dinosaur that the kids meet while they're at Camp Cretaceous. You can see the figure has some decent paint work. You have this very light blue color and some nice sculpted detail on the head right here. There is no articulation on this figure at all, except for the tail, which I was actually kind of surprised. I thought this would be all one solid piece. You do have a little hinge right here that allows you to swing its tiny, cute, adorable club tail from side to side. You can see more of that light blue coloration along the back right here. Some nicely sculpted in armor plates and scoots. Some nice scale work along the side. It has big, oversized baby feet. Those very adorable baby eyes. You got the spikes on the side of the head painted in gray, and underneath there is no paint color. There is no scan code for this figure, so I definitely want to get this set for a little tiny baby Bumpy figure, and this figure is just absolutely freaking adorable. I absolutely love this little baby Ankylosaurus. Next up is the Baryonyx. Now, if you've been collecting the Jurassic World line for any amount of time, you probably have some version of this figure in your collection. This figure is a straight up repaint of the Baryonyx. I think this is the 5th one, I believe, if you count the one that came with the Lava Surge play set. So there is nothing new to talk about with this figure. It has the same exact action feature as all the others. You just press the button on its back and it will close its mouth. Obviously, there's the raw version, which has the electronic raws. This figure does not have it. You can see the panel underneath here covers up where the hole for the speaker would be. And so the figure turned over, here is the scan code for this Baryonyx. Now, I'm not sure if it scans in the fax app yet. I know a couple of the other Camp Cretaceous figures I haven't scanned into the app yet. I'm sure they're just waiting to update it as it gets closer to the release date of the show. And pulling this figure back out, the color scheme is very similar to the Raw green Baryonyx that we got not too long ago. The whole body is done in this light green color, and then you have a couple different shades of brown markings along the head and back of this. The head is done in a light brown color. You can see the eyes are painted in yellow with a black pupil. I do have a little bit of sloppy paint on the upper jaw right here. The other box set that was on the shelf at Target, there was tons of yellow paint all over the side of the face on that Baryonyx. I got the one that had the least amount of paint mishaps on it. You can see the other teeth are painted in that yellowish color inside the mouth. You get that nice pink coloration for the tongue. The gums are painted in pink. The top of the jaw is also sculpted in that light brown plastic, and then going down to the neck, you have this dark brown coloration, so it kind of looks a little weird transitioning from this light brown to this dark brown. And then we get to about the midpoint right here. It goes to that light brown that's on top of the head. I kind of just wish they just went with this light color brown to make it look more uniform. I just think it looks too abrupt right there. And then you have some more of that light brown along the thigh right here, and then turn the figure over. You have just a little bit of white paint along the throat, and that is it for paint apps on this figure. The toe claws on the feet are not painted. They are painted on some of the other Baryonyx figures, and the hand claws are also not painted. I really wish they would paint the hand claws on the Baryonyx just to really emphasize that giant claw that they have on their hands. So that is pretty much it for this Baryonyx. I'm not going to go over the articulation on it because you guys probably have a couple of these in your collection already, so it's an okay figure. I did not buy this set for the Baryonyx. Honestly, I could do without having another Baryonyx in my collection. I kind of just wish if they, went with a different color scheme. It's just too similar to the Roar of War one we got not too long ago. And lastly, my favorite part about this box set, the repaint of the Stegosaurus. It's not a very dramatic looking paint scheme, but I really like how it came out. You've got this really light gray plastic with the whole figure is molded in, and then it's just colored in this darker gray coloration, and it just looks really, really nice in my opinion. And when you turn the figure over, you have some nice light pink belly coloration. So I really do like this repaint. This was a big factor in me getting this box set. This Stegosaurus is definitely really cool looking. I never picked up the gray dual attack Stegosaurus, so when I saw that they were coming out with this one, I knew I had to grab it. I just really like how this color scheme turned out. It's simple yet effective. So let's just pull this figure in a little closer and just take a look at just some of the finer details on it. Let me just adjust my light. You can see the head is painted in that darker gray color. The eye is painted in yellow with a black pupil. You can see the beak is very well sculpted at the front of the head right here. All the plates are all done in that dark gray coloration. You can see more of that dark gray marking along the body and along the hind legs. Getting down to the tail spikes, you can see they are painted in an off-white color. Very, very well done. And let me just turn this figure over so you guys can see the scan code on the bottom of this figure right here. So once they update that fax app, I'm assuming that these Camp Cretaceous figures will scan into there. And one more look at that belly coloration. I really like how they used the use of this pink coloration. Really adds some vibrancy to this gray coloration. And this Stegosaurus has the same exact action feature that we've seen on the other Stegosaurus. You just press on this back plate right here, and it'll cause the tail to swing side to side. All right, let's move on to some comparisons, starting with the Stegosaurus. Here it is with the original Jurassic World Stegosaurus. You can see the vast contrast between these two figures. I love some of the repaints Mattel does, and I'm definitely loving this new repaint on the Stegosaurus. You can almost maybe count these as a pair of Stegosaurs. Maybe this is the male and this one's the female, or vice versa. I definitely am into herd building, so some of these repaints I get very excited for. So this looks really, really nice next to each other. Now, the only thing I would complain about the Stegosaurus now having these two figures next to each other, the beak on this one is painted. It would have been nice if this one was painted in too. Just to add just a tiny bit more color to this repaint. But other than that, absolutely love the Stegosaurus. And moving on to Flippity Floppity, the Baryonyx. I guess I heard that this particular Baryonyx is going to be called Limbo in the Camp Cretaceous cartoon show, but I guess we'll see when that show eventually premieres. I guess it's supposed to be sometime in August. So here it is with some of the other Baryonyx figures. Here is the original Baryonyx. Here is the other Roar of War one that came out not too long ago in Dino Rivals. You can see, these two are almost the same green color. This one's a little bit lighter green than this one right here. I could have done without another green Baryonyx. I really wish they just did this one in a different color scheme. And then here it is with the Battle Damage Baryonyx. And let me just move my camera over so you can get them all into shot. Like I said, these are all exactly the same mold. The only difference is these two right here have the sound box for the electronic roars. Action features are exactly the same. Sculpts are exactly the same. I mean, I do like the Baryonyx sculpt. Get a little tired of seeing it. I would just wish, like I said, Mattel did something different with this one instead of giving us another green Baryonyx, maybe a more striking color. But that is probably my least favorite thing about this box set is this Baryonyx. Other than that, I think the box set is pretty good. And lastly, here it is with some of the other Camp Cretaceous branded figures that I currently have. The Control and Conquer Toro, the Carnotaurus, the awesome Epic Roaring Tyrannosaurus Rex, the Savage Strike Stiggy, and Echo. So Camp Cretaceous is shaping up to be a pretty decent subline for Primal Attack. I definitely do like this box set. If you're tired of seeing Baryonyx, I guess these sets not really worth getting, but for me, it was worth getting it for the little tiny baby Bumpy and the really cool looking repaint of the Stegosaurus. Like I said, I really don't care too much for that Baryonyx. And as for Darius right here, as of right now, I really don't care too much for this human figure. I have no connection to this character, obviously, because I have not seen the show. No one's seen the show, so maybe once the show premieres, my opinion will change on this figure. But other than that, I think it's a decent box set that's worth picking up, especially if you're into herd building. And like I said at the beginning of the video, this set retails for $39.99. If in the US, it's currently being found at Targets. I have the DCPI code along with a link to Pot Finder in the description just below the video. Using that will greatly help your chances of tracking the set down. So that will do it for the review. I actually have a bunch more Mattel Jurassic World stuff coming in probably today or tomorrow. I got a whole case of the new Sound Strikes coming in with the Irritator in the Camp Cretaceous Parasaurolophus. I finally tracked down the new repaint of the Savage Strike Pachycephalosaurus, and I'm currently on the hunt for that Escape from Nublar set that has the John Hammond and the Jurassic Park Run repainted raptors in it. So on vacation this week, so I'll be hitting a lot of Targets until I find that set. And as always, if you're enjoying the content on this channel, show your support by hitting that subscription button just below the video. Each subscription helps out the channel tremendously, and it's greatly appreciated. And I'll see you guys for the next one.